Next we have resolution number 2018-02-005R, Urbana Climate Inheritance Resolution. I matter.
Good evening, Council. My name is Scott Green. I am a student at the University of Illinois. I live in Urbana, and I'm also a student senator for the University of Illinois Student Government. I'm here in support for the I Matter resolution. We passed a resolution in the student government in support of the resolution, both for Urbana and Champaign, and the findings of the climate report card, and basically next steps for what we want to see from the local governments. I just want to say that I think that environmentalism and climate justice are issues that transcend, sort of green, trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. It transcends, it goes into so many sectors, economic justice, health and safety of communities, especially vulnerable communities, to issues of ecological justice. And it is something that at this point in time requires investment and requires, really prioritizing it. But I think it's something that future generations, my generation, generations after that, will look back on and, at all levels, whether it's federal, state, local, will look back and sort of assess what was done at each of these levels. And I think that, especially in this time, we're seeing an enormous abdication of responsibility at the federal level and at the state level to a certain extent, with the exception of some legislation here in Illinois, such as the Future Energy Jobs Act. And I think that Urbana is the place to really put a strong foot forward on this issue. And just as an anecdote, I live in a cooperative house here in Urbana called Harvest House, and there's about 14 of us in there. And one day we got a piece of mail from Ameren, and it gave us a quarterly assessment of our energy mix and the energy mix that we're getting. And half of this pie chart was black, and it said coal. And I thought to myself, we're an environmentally aware and conscious, co-op. We should be concerned that 50% of our energy is coming from coal. So I called up Ameren, and I got a quote for 100% wind energy through renewable energy credits. And they gave us a rate. It was, I think, 1 or 2 cents more expensive per kilowatt hour. And so we went with that. And then a year later, they asked us to renew it, and our rate was lower than the regular energy rate. So that's somewhere where, I would love to see something like that. I mean, that's a consumer level initiative, but I think that there are a lot of surprising ways that environmental justice can be achieved in a cost-effective and responsible manner. And I guess with that, I just want to, again, reiterate my support for the resolution.
Right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Lawrence. I'm a student at the University of Illinois and a resident of Urbana. I have been involved with the National I Matter organization for several years now. I Matter, which is a national organization of youth, has gone through many transitions over the years. But around the time that I got involved, the focus was shifting to local action, with the realization again that action was far too slow at larger scales. But when I first started talking to people about doing this project in Urbana, they looked at me like I was crazy. I was told that Urbana was already a leader in sustainability and that it would be crazy to ask them for more. But the fact that Urbana is regarded as a leader is exactly why we need to pass this resolution. Because scientists have made clear that what Urbana is currently committed to achieving is not enough. And as young people who will live with the consequences of our decisions today for the rest of our lives, I want to be clear that this is too big to fail. So, iMatter's push for local action began a couple of years ago in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, which is a city of 48,000 people, similar in size to Urbana. Students presented a report card similar to the one that we presented Urbana. St. Louis Park had no climate action plan at the time, but with students' involvement, they created a plan to be carbon neutral by 2040, and just last week, they actually passed that plan, which is the most aggressive climate action plan in the state of Minnesota, and one of the most aggressive in the nation. So I know that some of you are hesitant about passing this resolution with doubts about whether or not we'll be able to achieve these goals. But this is possible, and it's being done. And it seems to me that you either are a leader or you are not. And leadership is not planning for failure. It's not patting ourselves on the back for being better than most. It's not giving up at the moment it becomes more challenging. In this case, the costs of inaction far outweigh any costs of acting. So, call me crazy, but I can't see the logic in not even trying. So you have the choice right now to either join the growing ranks of cities committed to taking this seriously and paving the path forward, or making the mistake of underestimating our city and its potential. Regardless of your decision, I want to assure you that we aren't going away, that there are hundreds of students in this community who are deeply concerned for our future on this planet and are ready to stand up for it. We want to work with you to create the future that we want to live in, and we are here to stay. I know that we can do more. I know that it will be hard, but I also know that it is possible. And more importantly, I know that it's needed. Maybe more than anything else we could do right now. And I have always known that Urbana will make the right decision. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sohini Oswald. I'm a student at the University of Illinois, and along with Mary Jane, we are co-presidents of Students for Environmental Concerns at the University of Illinois, and our RSO comprises of about 100 residents, many of which live in Urbana. We would like to urge our support for this I Matter resolution because for us, the environment is of utmost importance. Creating climate forward policy is very important to us because we are the future. We, in 2040, will be 44 years old and will be looking to the future to make sure that we are creating an even more just and equitable environment for future generations. I'd really urge you to support this bill because, as has been stated in the past, Urbana is a leader in sustainability and we need to be continuing with that trend.
I agree with everything Sohini has said, and everyone in our club also agrees that this resolution should pass. I've lived in Urbana for 2 years now. I love the community, and I do see individuals in the community acting on sustainable things, doing sustainable practices, so I think they would be very happy to see us having an aggressive climate action plan. Like Sohini said, we were talking about the future when we were driving here, and there's 2 years that are mentioned in the resolution, 2025 and 2040, and they seem like kind of a far way from now, but we calculated it out, and I'll be 29 in 2025 and 44 in 2040, and that's hopefully these things are going to happen well within my lifetime. So put that into perspective, and I just want to reiterate that if anything, that adults have been telling us our whole lives about how climate change is happening and we have to do something about it. I really want to see them take action on it because I know when we're sitting in your desks that we're going to be working on this and it's going to be a priority. So give us a fighting chance.
Thank you.